Alright guys, Rich here from the RCNetwork.com, and today's unboxing is the new Xpress K1 Chassis. Now this is a slightly different build than what I'm used to. This is a mid-motor rear-wheel drive K chassis kit. Now if you don't know what a K chassis kit is, it was kind of invented back in 1997 and has disappeared for quite a few years. Now in 2016, the company Xpress RC actually reinvented this thing and has it going pretty strong. So this is basically a smaller scaled down version of a 1/10 scale touring and or drift car. So this thing is pretty cool, and it is definitely smaller than a standard 190 or 200 millimeter touring or drift car. So this is quite a bit smaller. We'll get into the specs of what size this thing actually is and kind of go from there. Now I picked mine up from RC Mart, cool place to deal with, and got it pretty quick, actually all the way on the other side of the planet from where I'm located in the United States. As with most kit unboxings, they're not the most sexiest thing in the world, but hopefully this kit unboxing will get you some pretty good information if you do plan to pick up this Xpress K1 chassis. Now to give you some of the size dimensions of this, this box here is super small. I mean, we're looking at 12 inches by 6 inches and 2 inches in height. I mean, it's a small box, and inside of there is some pretty cool components. So just to give you an idea of the size of wheels that this will run, this is a standard 1/10 scale drift tire, and this is the K1 tire. So quite a bit smaller overall, and I think this is going to be a cool project. Now as far as chassis dimensions, right over here we have listed some of the specs on this thing. So 170 is the wheelbase, 250 is the length, and a standard Sakura D4 is about 363, so quite a bit different in length versus the wheelbase. So keep that in mind. These will take unique wheels and tires and also unique bodies. So one thing that is not unique is it takes standard electronics. So if you're into building these smaller cars, this is a cool project because you can use a standard 540 size motor, standard steering servo, everything else is standard on this thing, so you can have lots of fun if you like to build your own kits. Alright, so let's crack this thing open and see what we get inside of this box here. Now, whenever you're unboxing a kit, you always kind of want to keep track of what you may need on down the line. Some kits include different fluids, some do not. Hopefully this will keep you apprised of what is included. So right off we get some Xpress decals with the K1 and M1 and all sorts of different logos on there. So very nice. We do have an antenna tube, which are kind of taboo these days with some of the antenna-less receivers that are out. Right here we have a whole slew of body mounts. So I know some of the different styles. I mean, you can mount a VW bus to this chassis. There's all sorts of little high-performance cars and kind of like a K-class cars, kind of like the affordable line of cars out there. So nice. We do get some different fluids in here. Looks like 500 CST and 3000 CST. Looks like these are for shocks. This is going to be for a differential of some sort. Like I said, this is a rear-wheel drive mid-motor configuration. All sorts of bearings inside of here, and we do get some CVDs up here. So looks like the front will be rolling on CVDs. I'm imagining as I'm looking through this. First time I've unboxed one of these Xpress brand of cars. Servo horns, servo savers, all good stuff. Do have a foam bumper right here, so nice, and you can see how small that thing is. I mean, maybe 3 inches in length, 1 inch right there by ½ inch, very small. We have a whole slew of different shock parts in this big bag, along with a belt. This is a belt drive, and it does look like quite small pitch of pinion gear and spur gear. I'm guessing this is maybe 64th, so we'll have to check on that. But it definitely looks smaller than 48 pitch, so keep that in mind. And there's going to be a build series on this too, so stay tuned for that. Now we're getting into some fun parts. This is a heavy bag right here. This is all of the hardware, and the hardware is tiny. It does appear to all be hex hardware as I'm looking at it. Yes, it is. Very nice. Especially for a smaller scale vehicle, a lot of times the RTR versions will have Phillips hardware. So nice to see hex hardware throughout. We do have shock bladders, O-rings, looks like all sorts of different pieces in here. There's a plastic pulley right here. It appears to be, yes. And then on this side you have the shock shafts. It is mounted with C-clips, shock bodies which are plastic, it appears, shock springs. Knurled adjusters are aluminum in this bag. And we're getting to some money parts down here at the bottom. This is looks to be a battery strap. Now you can run a standard stick pack in this vehicle. It is wide enough for a stick pack, but I plan to run shorties. I just have plenty of shorties available, and the power is definitely there with the shorties these days. Getting into the bottom down here, we have a whole slew of aluminum parts. These appear to be some sort of bulkhead or center bulk, probably for the motor mount maybe. I'll have to check into that, but it all has that kind of red anodized look to it. Nice. Right here we have another bulkhead section. It looks like for the adjustability of the rear diff maybe, so very nice. Chamfered edges on all this stuff, so it kind of peeks out that it is aluminum, and you have that nice red anodization. Last bag in here is going to be all the carbon fiber. Look at that thing. That's going to be the size of the chassis right there. It is super small. Let me get out my tape real quick. We'll get a quick measure of that in inches. So we're looking at 9 inches overall on the chassis, with right about 3 inches in width. So I mean, that gives you an idea of how small this little K car is. It should be pretty fun. Well guys, that is it. That is my unboxing of the Xpress K1 chassis. I can't wait to get building this thing. This is going to be a pretty fun project. I've always wanted a mini vehicle that uses standard electronics. There's so many out there that use just smaller, ESCs, smaller motors, and they just don't have the performance that you'd want in it. So very nice of Xpress to re-release this thing back straight from 1997. Can't wait to build it. Well guys, that's it for now. If you have any comments or questions about this Xpress K1 chassis, please feel free to post it on down below. And as always, thumbs up and subscribe. That's it for now guys. Over and out.